Guys, make sure you stick around for the whole video. Make sure you watch the entire video. The last couple of minutes of this video is going to provide a couple of updates. Also, something else too. This video will be going out on Commander today at right around 5 or 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But it will also be going out on John Claymore, my main channel, tomorrow. I have a video project that I'm going to be working on for the weekend of something that happened last night that I'm going to push it out to Saturday. But if you're not subscribed to John Claymore, make sure you guys go subscribe to that channel. I'll leave a link in the description box for you guys. Also, something else too, there will be a video from Glenn Beck left in the comment section, and there's probably going to be one more video that I'm going to leave in. This video, by the way, as you can see, is called Russia's or Vladimir Putin's actual endgame. I would need to go out there and actually redo at the time that I'm talking to you guys. I need to redo the thumbnail and make it Putin's endgame part 1. I'll be talking about Russia today. I'll be doing this in an actual series. Eventually, what's going to happen is I'm going to merge the takes onto my main channel, but I'll explain that later on in the afternoon. But with that out of the way, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, share the video, sign off in the comment section, and let's go ahead and get into this. So this video right here is going to be talking about the situation in Russia itself as far as their actual geopolitical positioning in space. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the current U.S. issues that we're going to have in this entire ordeal with Russia going forward. And as I said before, there'll be more videos out on this topic. There'll even be videos out on China and the Middle East, and also an enemy that I think could be a fourth enemy that is not within our own borders that I will be speaking about at greater length in other videos. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into this topic. So we already know about Vladimir Putin this past year in 2021. He started inserting himself into Ukraine, inserting himself back to the Crimea. He's got over 200,000 troops at the border. But I remain convinced that Vladimir Putin's goal is not to invade the Ukraine, not at this moment in time. I believe this entire thing is nothing more than a giant decoy. Now, we all know Putin is a bad man, okay? Ex-KGB, former colonel in the special forces, and I think it's KGB is what it was. Sorry about that. And we already know his actual past and history and how you can never actually trust him. The Russians are not to be trusted under Vladimir Putin. However, what you can do with Russia is that you can divert their thinking and help change their behavior based on business deals and overall good old-fashioned foreign policy. It's the thing I liked about the previous administration so much is that Trump was trying to get Vladimir Putin to work with us, and with China being there, and of course Joe Biden, a part of the actual establishment here in the United States. I tend to think of it as a uniparty, the establishment versus anti-establishment. It's actually three when you think about it: the establishment, the far right, or the MAGA right, and of course the far left. But that's a different video for a different day. The thing is this right here. Putin, at this moment in time, knowing that the United States of America is very, very weak under Joe Biden, I mean, come on, dude, and don't worry, I'll talk a bit further about that in a minute before I can actually completely lose myself. Putin understands that under the weak leadership of the United States, he's going to have to look at China. Now, really quick, when people think about China and Putin being friends, I got some news for you. Russia has always had a contested border with China. They've never actually gotten along, not since the beginning of the Cold War. They're actually not really truly as friendly as you think. They're basically business partners tied up by a treaty, and they don't really get along with one another. It's the same thing with, say, China and maybe Afghanistan. When the whole Afghanistan debacle occurred, I remember thinking to myself, China's going to try to take advantage of this, but let's be honest, the Islamic Caliphate there in Afghanistan, in that area of the world, it's not going to jive well with the Uyghur Muslims in China being basically locked up. After a while, that condition, that relationship is going to completely erode, it's going to completely fold, and China believes that they can take advantage of that situation, but they can't. But the thing that Vladimir Putin knows at this moment in time is that Russia, and let's go ahead and bring this up with Russia really quick. Russia militarily is strong and it's getting stronger, but can it really and truly influence the world militarily? I say no, it cannot. Let's think about something really quick. Russia's got a contested border with China. Russia's got contested borders with NATO, countries in NATO. I mean, this is one way that Ukraine could avoid an entire fight, is if the United Nations took Ukraine in, or if NATO took them in, they could actually avoid a fight. Putin needs some type of buffer so that way he can get to Crimea. Now, I want to take you back to the Andropov doctrine, which, by the way, stated that the Russians, this is back in the early 80s, basically stated that they could give up geopolitical space. Well, Putin wants some of that space back as far as a buffer is concerned. Like I said, this guy he's not a guy to be trifled with. He's not a guy to be taken serious. He's not a guy to be taken lightly, okay? This is what he wants. He wants to expand his overall influence within his own continent, not the entire world militarily. However, what he can do is expand his actual influence globally in one market, and here it is. Finish taking this drag. Russia has got a massive amount of natural gas. Russia has also got a pretty high amount of oil. Their economy, realistically, as Steve Bannon quoted, is really about the size of New York. It's not that big of an economy, but they do have a massive wealth of oil and natural gas. So what do when you have this massive wealth? You try to join the Middle East, or you try to join a certain section of the Middle East. Iran, for example, is oil rich. They always have been. Syria, I'm not so sure about, but Russia does have a military base there. And Turkey, of course, if they're not going to be accepted by NATO, eventually they're going to turn to Russia. So what do? You put troops on the border in Ukraine. You decide to stir up something, talk about how powerful you are, and maybe you might. And by the way, he may go into the Ukraine. He just may do that. But here's the thing about the Ukraine, and I've always felt that he would not do it. What's the point in going into a nation where the United States has already armed that nation? It's going to be a bloodbath either way. So when the Ukrainians say that this fight's going to be a bloodbath, it may not be a bloodbath for Ukraine. It could be a bloodbath for 200-some-odd-thousand Russian soldiers who, by the way, have not fought a war in decades and not really actually trained for a war because the military is 2/3 conscripts. It could actually turn to a bloodbath for Russia. However, what Russia could do is that they could scare the Ukrainians, and in the meantime, take those 10,000 troops and put them on the border in Armenia or Azerbaijan and start up a fight there. Ukraine is not that much, is not really oil rich. However, the Azerbaijan and Armenia are. There's oil reserves there. So how do you usurp yourself into the Middle East? It's very, very easy. What you do is you go to the nations closest to it. You go in through the Azerbaijan, Armenia, which, by the way, they're in conflict with one another. You go in there and you sell that. You get a piece of the profit. You say, okay, look, I want the actual oil and I want access to the oil. Meanwhile, you decide to start up an issue with Turkey. You decide to get involved in that entire ordeal. By the way, this is all Bible prophecy. So the next thing you know, you've got Turkey, you've got Azerbaijan, you've got Armenia, and now you've got Iran working with the Russians over this issue of oil. Possibly Saudi Arabia, maybe maybe thaw the ties with Israel, things of that nature there. That is what Vladimir Putin is trying to do, is he's trying to expand Russia's influence through its actual resources. They've already got the Nord 2 pipeline. And by the way, there were sanctions on that pipeline until Joe Biden decided to remove it. This is one of the reasons why I kept telling people, I was like, Trump's not the Russian asset here. The real Russian asset is the U.S. establishment ran by the Democratic Party. Biden's not going to fight. He's not going to fight Vladimir Putin. He's going to friggin' talk a lot of trash, but he's not going to fight him. He's going to lay right down for him. And I'll provide some actual proof of that here in a minute. But that is what Russia is doing. I mean, it's a country of 12 different time zones. It cannot expand itself globally, militarily, or through its actual influence. But what it can do is it can get a hold of the massive amounts of oil, which, by the way, if they sell the oil, it's going to be twice as much as what it is now, meaning that Russia's going to find a way to enrich themselves. That is what Vladimir Putin's actual end game is, and I'll be doing more videos on this. But let me go ahead and flip the script to the United States really quick and our current situation here. For whatever reason, I have this strong feeling that the United States or the Biden administration, which I think is really the Obama administration, the third term, I think what they're doing is they're using COVID as a way to purge people. You see, if guys aren't taking the vaccine, they're getting booted out, and I think that the current administration is utilizing COVID for that very, very reason. They want to get rid of anybody that's right-leaning. They want to get rid of any minorities who may disagree, because let's face it, minorities who are not taking the vaccine or not taking the jab. I think that there's what the hell is really and truly going on. I think you're seeing an actual purge. The military may have only voted 60% Trump this past election, but there's about 10% of that military that leans more libertarian, and another 6% that's inherently conservative, and sometimes they vote Democrat, sometimes they vote Republican. You see, the idea, of course, would be to purge this. Now, I think that this purge would absolutely fail. And see, right now they're talking about we want to remove any type of political speech out of the military. Okay, good to go. I want a completely apolitical military, but there's a problem, though. They're only removing right-leaning speech. They're not removing far left or left-leaning speech. That's kind of a problem. You see, you're creating a political military. I do believe that they will fail at this, but here's the thing that bothers me. Come 2024, I do not believe the Biden administration will be in office. I just don't think they will be. I think what will end up happening is that a Republican, Trump, maybe DeSantis will come in there, and they'll have to orchestrate a military purge to get rid of all the leftists and all the establishment phonies within our actual military, like General Milley or like Lloyd Austin. I have a feeling that right there is set to come, and I think that Putin's going to take advantage of this, and he's going to continue to assert himself on that scale. You see, Putin, and I may have said it before, he's got a very teeterous type relationship. It's not a strong relationship with China, but right now he's taking advantage of it until a Republican comes in. And by the way, what if that Republican is Trump? What if he suddenly gets Putin to work against China? It also could have helped if India could have been used. By the way, Modi was in fact actually friendly with Trump. It was actually very bad that he came out of office, because Modi could have been a very, very big time ally. Guys, this is the first of multiple videos I'm going to be doing on this topic. I want to just kind of go ahead and give you guys a bit of an overlay, but there is something else too that I need to talk about, and this is where I'm going to end the video at. I will be continuing to do videos here on Commander 33, okay? I'm going to be doing some exclusive content on this channel here, but the goal is to do content on this channel until about mid to late February. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to transition the content from Commander 33 into more projects, more reactions, like where infographics gets it wrong. Of course, it's all going to be military related, of course. I'm going to be doing that there. I'm going to be merging a lot of my Commander 33 topics with John Claymore. So if you guys are subscribed to this channel, make sure you guys subscribe to that channel, and also to my new subscribers. And guys, subscribe to this channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to both. Guys, John Claymore / Commander 33. If you like this channel, hit the like button, subscribe, share, and I will see you guys later.